Do you already want to go home for good with a viable income back home? And, of course, spend more time with your family? Well, you are in the right place because this is the Mug for Good Motivations. And we are in the very first episode of this free monthly mini workshop series dedicated for overseas Filipinos. And today we are going to discuss the Mug for Good life change cycle. I would like to introduce first myself. I am Lisa De La Cruz and nakapag-for good na ako noong April 2014. It has been 7 years and by God's grace, I have financially survived and thrived through those years. But I was once like you. Most OFWs left their children back home and trusted the care of their children. Ako rin nun. That time, my eldest daughter was just 3 years old and my youngest daughter was just 6 months old. I sacrificed being away from them, but also they sacrificed not having their mother beside them. I miss their birthdays. I miss their first day in school. I miss kissing them goodnight, and I miss comforting them when they're crying, and when they were sick. I also miss to take care of them. But as we all know, kailangan nating magsakripisyo para mabigyan ng magandang kinabukasan ang mga anak natin. So, even though after a few years already nandun ako sa abroad, I already wanted to go home for good. But it was not possible for me. Bakit? Because I had zero savings. And not only that, actually, hindi lang zero savings. Negative because I also had credit card debts. So sabi ko, I need to earn extra income para mabayaran ko yung credit card debts, makapag-save, makapag-start ng business, tapos makauwi na sa Philippines. So, ang ginawa ko, I joined multi-level marketing. Doon, I presented ganon. I also sold, nagbenta ko ng mga food supplements like that. And then, however, with those effort, I failed not just once. Okay? Hindi lang ako nag-join sa isang MLM. I think I joined more than 4 or 5 ata. And I failed in all those effort na makapag-for good and makapag-earn income, extra income. But one day, mga June 2013 na nun, I discovered the opportunity of working from home. I pursued my virtual career, and in less than 10 months, I was already able to go home for good. And that beautiful journey, that beautiful story given to me by God inspired me to write this book, Take the Leap Back Home, with a foreword by Miss Shana Sino. Tapos, I was also given the opportunity to be featured in this e-magazine of Truly Rich Club Wealth Strategies. And then, I was also given the opportunity to share this story again in this first ever Overseas Filipino Summit, where I discussed how virtual assistants led me home for good in less than 10 months. Okay, but we will not be discussing virtual assistants today, okay? I will be discussing that strong foundation so that you will succeed in any side income that you are working right now, and eventually you will already be home for good. Okay? This workshop is for you if you are working away from home and you desperately, badly want to be with your loved ones every day. You want to know how you can go home for good and still financially support your loved ones back home. You are already trying to replace your job and income abroad, but you are stuck. You want to prepare yourself in your journey of going home for good. So, pag tinitingnan mo, parang pare-pareho lang no? But actually, these are different phases in life in the journey of going home for good. Okay? So, why go home for good the soonest possible time you can? Diba? Why? Because if you are working in Asian countries, na hindi nag-o-offer ng citizenship or walang green card, uuwi at uuwi ka rin sa Pilipinas. Babalik at babalik ka rin sa Pilipinas. You will have no choice. It may be now or later or in a few years or in many more years. But if you are working in those countries, well, uuwi at uuwi ko pa rin. So, why prolong the agony? Diba? Why prolong the agony? So, I'll give you two choices right now. First choice is you could go home unprepared. So, what do I mean? Pwedeng magsara yung kumpanya mo and you have no choice but to go home. Tapos, hindi ka prepared. Wala kang pinagkakakitaan pag uwi mo. Second scenario is pwedeng ma-redundant ka. Yung, kunwari, dalawa kayong gumagawa ng isang job, pero due to cost cutting, they have to let you go. Cost cutting nga, diba? So, lay off. Mapapauwi ka. Third is, pwedeng ma-dissolve yung department nyo or yung role mo. Kasi technology, innovation, robotics, automation, it's here. We are in the age of technology and ang daming nawawalan ng trabaho dahil sa automations and robotics already. So you could be that, diba? Or the fourth one, old age. There are some people na or some companies na minsan kapag old age na, they will have to let you go. Especially pag 60 or retiring ka na, di ba? You have no choice. So kung ganon, you will have to go home unprepared. So anong pagkakakitaan mo kung pag-uwi mo sa Pilipinas, you are unprepared? Okay? That's why you have fears dahil doon. Now, the second option naman is you voluntarily go home prepared. So starting today, maybe you could already plan that you will be going home for good in less than a year, parang ako, or maybe in a year or 2 years, ganon. So basta wag na lang yung matagal. And while planning, you will prepare yourself to have a replacement for your job there, so you could already go home for good. Kasi doon din naman papunta eh. Bakit mo pa antayin ng matagal, di ba? So you could already plan and prepare for it now. And then go home the soonest possible time. And so, of course, anong mas gusto mo? Go home unprepared, I should say, or voluntarily go home prepared. Of course, dito ka na, di ba? Mas maganda yung ikaw magfa-fire sa boss mo, then goodbye and go home. Correct? And then pag uwi mo, you are financially prepared. Okay? So in this For Good Motivations mini workshop series, I will help you prepare for your fearless journey of going home for good with a viable income back home the soonest possible time. So yun yung keyword doon. Soonest possible time. Okay? So, we have limited time today. So, itong mga mini workshops na to is, I'm just targeting it na it will last for maximum of 30 minutes. Kasi yung brain natin, it could only focus for 30 to 40 minutes. And I want you to absorb all these lessons that I am sharing with you. Okay? So, but I promise I will give you options how you could do it further or how you could speed up. Okay, the obvious safe way to go home for good is, alam na natin to, sinabi ko na kanina, replace your job and income abroad with a side hustle or side income or extra income. Earn as much as you are earning abroad from your side income. So, yun yung second milestone mo. If you're already doing that, you can already go home for good. Okay? Pero, yan. Most OFWs who wants to go home for good are stuck dito sa pag-replace ng job, sa pag-earn sa mga extra income na yan. Bakit kaya nai-stuck? Because you are missing 2 pieces of the puzzle. Okay? So, ano yung 2 pieces of the puzzle na yan? First is build your confidence. And then, have an achiever mindset. And then, you already know these 3. So, why build your confidence? So, I'll share you my experience, okay? When I was already pursuing my virtual assistance career, I received a lot of rejections nung nagsubmit ako ng proposals, maybe more or less 50 proposals yon, ang daming declined by client, declined by client, declined by client, ganon. Yung iba hindi nagre-respond sa mga proposal ko, so I had to withdraw. But I did not quit. I was already rejection proof that time. Bakit? Because I was already confident. Okay, I was already confident that it will work for me. So no matter how much time I invest in this virtual assistants or how much hard work I give, I know it will work. So I had the confidence already. And then, why earn enough from your side hustle? Kanina, di ba, earn as much as you are earning abroad. Dito, earn enough from your side hustle. So, alam mo ba, nung nag-for good ako, I had 2 online clients. Isang part-time, isang full-time. But my income in those 2 was just, I think, 60, maybe 60 or 70% of I was making abroad. But I was pretty confident na pag uwi ko sa Philippines, I will have more time and I could earn as much as I was earning abroad already, diba? So, again, confidence. And then when I went home for good, I had credit card debts. So, dati, it was stopping me, diba, of going home for good kasi may credit card debts pa ako, wala pa akong savings. Pero nung umuwi ako, promise, I still had credit card debts. Lumaki pa nga yun eh. I think it was, I almost maxed out 600,000 plus. But in the span of 7 years, less than 7 years actually, I was able to pay off those debts. I know nung nag-for good ako, na I will be able to pay it kahit nasa Philippines na ako. And yeah, I did. So what does it take to have that decision? It's the confidence that this can change your life. So, I will help you build your confidence today. And maybe in a few more series of these workshops, okay? Because it's really important and it is the foundation of changing your life. So, what will you learn today? So, you will learn about the Mug for Good life change cycle you need to be aware of. You will discover why you are stuck in replacing your job abroad and income abroad. Have how to move forward to your desire na mag for good. Then, 3 of the ways to prepare yourself to fearlessly mag for good. So, let's start with the life change cycle. Actually, there are 6 phases of life here. First is the discontented ka. First, discontented ka. And then, kapag discontented ka, you will reach your breaking point. And then the next phase is you will decide to change your life. But immediately after that, matatakot ka, fears. And then you will have amnesia. You'll disregard or forget about that breaking point. And then you delay your decision to change your life. And then you backtrack to your current situation. Okay? Since you backtrack sa current situation mo, in that current situation, di ba, discontented ka, then the cycle will repeat itself. So, I will share with you my Mug for Good life change cycle. Okay? I was discontented when I was working abroad because I was not able to fulfill my purpose as a mother. As a mother, you have to take care of your kids, di ba? And I was not able to do that. So, I was sad, I was unhappy, and I was homesick. And then, it came to my breaking point. What's that? One night, my mother called me. Sabi niya, my daughter did something bad in school. Napatawag siya sa principal's office. And then, I feel bad about that. So, it was my breaking point. Gustong-gusto ko nang umuwi sa Pilipinas because I know my children need me by their side to guide them. And then, so I decide I want to go home. I want to pack my things and fly. Fly back home. But then, hindi pwede. Kasi, di ba, I had zero savings. Hindi pwede. I had fears. Yun na yun, fears, di ba? And then, I had credit card debts, pero mababa pa lang yung credit limit ko noon ha, nasa 5,000 pa lang. So, feeling ko kaya pang bayaran. So, I settled muna. I disregarded or delayed my decision na umuwi right there and then. And then I backtrack and to the current situation of working abroad. Although I already started, earning extra income from multi-level marketing, I had still fears. Okay, nung una akong nag-join, I had still fears and I am not, initially I was on fire and then eventually nag-procrastinate na ako, ganon. Okay, so as I said a while ago, nasa current situation ako, of course, I was discontented in that current situation. So, uulit na naman yung cycle. Another breaking point will happen. And what's that? Pag-uwi ko sa Philippines, it was my first vacation. Alam mo naman, 6 months pa lang yung anak ko nung iniwan ko. So, pag-uwi ko, maybe it was 4 years old na ata siya or 3 years old. And then, nung una niya ako makita, takot siya sa akin. Ayaw niya sa akin talaga. Ayaw niya sa akin. And then, mas gusto niya yung nanay niya. Ayaw pa nga niya akong katabi. Ayaw niyang ako ang magpatulog sa kanya. Okay, that was so painful on my part as a mother. And it was my breaking point again. Sabi ko, ayoko nang mag-abroad. Gusto ko na dito sa Philippines. But again, there was fear. How could I financially provide for my children? Paano ko sila mapapag-aral sa magandang eskwelahan, diba? And then, so amnesia again, disregard that feeling dun sa breaking point. And then, I went back working abroad. So again, discontented na naman ako. There were a lot of happenings where I had this cycle. So, what do you need to do here? You have to break this cycle so you could move forward. Okay? So, how do you break this cycle? I'll share that with you later. But first, I want you to be aware of this cycle so you know how to deal with it later on. Okay? First, please answer these coaching questions. What are the things you are not quite happy about in your life? What are your fears if you go home for good? What options have you tried so far so you can go home for good? What's the result of your effort of going home for good? Have you experienced life change amnesia before? If so, when? Okay, please answer these 5 questions right now. You could pause this video or finish this video and please go back to this later and answer them. It's really important. Okay? So, let's go back. How can you break this cycle? As you have observed, maybe, it starts with the fear, diba? So, kailangan mong i-overcome yung fear. How can you overcome that fear? So, I will be sharing 3 of the ways how you can overcome your fear and start building your life change confidence. Number 1 is make time with family more important than money. Okay, I will repeat, okay? Make time with family more important than money. So you are working abroad, earning money away from your family because you love them. I have to be clear with that, okay? You're working away from home, you're working away, you're sacrificing, working abroad, kahit magkalayo kayo ng pamilya mo, so you could provide for them, you could give them a better future. It's sign of love. Let's be clear on that. But you also have an option naman eh. You have an option to choose that to have or spend or be with your family. But currently, you are choosing. It is more important for you to earn money so you could provide for your family because you love them. That's more important than having or spending more time with your family because you love them. So I will tell you a story. One night again, my mother called me and she said na nandun sila sa hospital ni Papa, tinakbo niya sa hospital si Papa and they are in the emergency emergency room. That was my wake up call na I don't really have much time, that I should spend my time more with the people I love. Okay? So that was my wake up call. And then when I prioritize being with them talaga more than earning money for them, so that's the time when I was able to build my confidence. One of the reasons I was able to build my confidence, because I wanted to spend more time with them. Okay, so you have to do this as well if you really want to go home for good and have more time with your family. Make this as your priority more than money. Number 2, change your limiting beliefs. Kaya nakapagkwentuhan ulit ako sa isang OFW. Sabi niya, Lisa, alam mo, meron naman na akong ipon eh. Sa haba ng taon na pag-work ko dito sa abroad. May ipon na ako. Gusto ko nang mag-for good, pero natatakot ako kasi baka madali lang mauubos ang pera sa Pilipinas, sabi niya. Well, I need to tell you, okay? I need to tell you that you have the control if you will lose money or you will grow your money in the Philippines. You have the control on that. So, will you allow na mauubos lang ang pera mo sa Philippines, or will you have the control to grow your money? Right? Okay, so number 2, you have to change your limiting beliefs if you want to really have the confidence to go home for good. And number 3, know that you have a backer. I'm quoting this from the Bible verse, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. As you know, I was able to virtual career led me home for good. My client in Netherlands gave me that full-time contract, kaya I decided to go home for good. But you know what? There were challenges during that time. Kasi yung schedule ng interview ko sa kanya, before she hired me, schedule ng interview ko was 9 in the morning. 8:30 nag-message na ako sa Skype sa recruiter na I'm already online. Just call me when you're ready. But then funny thing, okay, so ironic, a few minutes before 9 o'clock, nawalan ako ng internet. I was troubleshooting. I almost panicked. Tapos paglabas ko sa room, nakita ko si flatmate, tinanggal yung saksakan ng aming router. Sabi ko, bakit mo tinanggal? I need the internet. Sabi ko, weekdays yan eh. Tinanggal niya. So, nung sinaksak namin, it took maybe a few more minutes bago nagka-signal kasi magbubut pa, ganon, diba? So, in short, I was late for the interview for, I think, more than 5 minutes. And fortunately, I have a backer. Big man backer na kahit na late ako, I was hired. Kung iba-iba yon, maybe I was rejected. Hindi na nila ako in-entertain sa interview. But the interview went well. Sabi ko, as I mentioned a while ago, I have a backer. So you just have to give your best always, and God will do the rest for you. Okay? Your dream of going home for good is from God. Okay? It's from God, and He wants you to have that. You just have to do your part. You just have to give your best. And when you do that, leave it all, the rest to Him to fulfill your dream. Okay? There. If you have those 3, it will increase your confidence, and in no time, you will be able to replace your income abroad and go home for good already with a viable income that could support your family. Okay, so yung Mag for Good Life change cycle, if you are able to overcome your fear, it will already be a process. Kasi tingnan mo tong cycle. Cycle nga is circle. So it is never ending. Paulit-ulit lang yan unless you break it. So one way to break it is through building your confidence. Okay? para maging process na siya. Pag process, you'll be from one point to another, and that is working abroad to going home for good with a viable income. So we already know these 3 phases. Kung na-overcome mo yung fear mo and you're able to build your life change confidence, you will be able to do all what it takes to achieve the goal of going home for good and having more time with your family with a viable income. Okay? So, how can you apply this workshop? Reflect and be aware of your own Mag for Good life cycle. You have to be aware of it, and to help you do that, you should answer the Mag for Good life change coaching questions a while ago. Okay, this will really help you so that you know when you're already experiencing fear, when you are already experiencing amnesia, and then when you are already backtracking. Okay, so you have to know the cycle, your cycle, so you could deal with it and overcome it. And then, of course, I want you to dig deeper into your fears and how to overcome them. This is really important. So that's how you could apply this, your learning in this workshop. How can you take it further? So you could download my Take the Leap Back Home. It will help you build your confidence as well, know your why, and how you can replace your job abroad and considerations when you're already going home for good. Okay, download it for free. Just sign up at the box below. Okay, and then you could, as soon as you sign up, you could consume more Mag for Good motivations. You will already be notified once the next episode will be published. Next episodes, it's a series. So I'll try to be doing this every month. I'll be doing this. I'm committing to do this every month for you. Okay? And you will also know about services and you'll also be receiving free newsletters about going home for good. So sign up below now to continue learning and preparing yourself to fearlessly go home for good the soonest possible time. Okay? So go, sign up now. And then also, I would love to hear from you. Comment down below your key takeaways dito sa ating workshop. Ano yung natutunan mo? Tapos, ano yung mga things na experiences na shinare ko na you could relate to. Tapos, if you have any questions, just drop it below, comment below, then I could answer them. And then, things na or topics na gusto mong i-feature natin dito sa ating show, sa ating program, sa ating workshop. Okay, so thank you very much for being with me, being a part of this Mag for Good motivations. This is my life purpose and my calling, and then I am so happy to serve you. And I hope to see you at the next episode. Okay, so bye for now and God bless.